Hello basketball players, my name is Alan from Al's Basketball Training, and today I'm going to talk to you about some low post basketball footwork that you can use yourself to help you get better position in the low post, but also be able to score and defend better in the low post as well. So let's just get down to it. In the low post, footwork is very, very important. It's almost just as important as the moves that you know here in the low post. The reason for that is because, well, you want to have an advantage over your defender, and vice versa. If you're playing defense, you want to have an advantage over the offensive player. So first off, I'm going to go over some offensive footwork, and then later on in this video, I'm going to go over to some defensive footwork. So let's check this out. First off, you want to get good position on your defender. So what you're going to be doing is when you're going down into the low post, first off, you want to get the player a little bit deeper because you know he's going to try and push you out. So you're not going to be starting way up here because you're going to end up over here. Now, depending on the move set that you have, this may be okay every once in a while. However, if you want to get nice low post positioning, you want to get this player, you want to run the player first. You don't want to be just walking up to him unless you're like some 600-pound Shaq type player. You want to jog up to him, and then you want to get your, in this case, on the left side, you want to get your right foot in between their feet. So their feet are going to be right here. And then instead of just turning this way, because now you're just giving the player the ability to get in front of you, what you want to do is plant that right foot in between their legs, turn, and seal. Now, this would be actually okay positioning because you're right in between the block and the hash mark. You're allowed to be in the key for up to 3 seconds. So once you get this positioning, you can take a step out, and now you're at that first hash mark. And this is perfect positioning because now it's going to allow you to have a good area to kind of work in. I always like my players in the first hash mark and roughly a foot out. This way we can do many different types of moves. We can take a player towards the baseline, but also towards the middle of the key. And how we got this positioning was that slight spin move that we just did in the low post. Okay, so now we have gotten that positioning, we've gotten that foot down, we've sealed, we've got the player behind us. Now what we need to do is take that step out and show a target. So personally, if the player is trying to defend me on this side, I've got my arm out this towards the right side. Meanwhile, if the defender is trying to defend me on this side, then I would have my left hand out to get that ball. Now, when that ball is being passed to me, what I would then do is instead of just standing here and waiting for that ball to come to me, allowing my defender to get around me, I'm going to come to the ball, which means that I'm going to be hopping, if he's on this side, hopping just in front of him to get that ball. So I'm still within that 1 foot from that first hash mark. I now have the ball. And you can practice this without any other player. So you can jog in, seal, get that position, spin the ball to yourself. Now I stepped into it, but in reality, what we want is to then seal, bang, hop into it, landing on both feet. Now the reason why you want to land on both feet is because, not just because you're able to seal the defender a little bit better, but also by landing on both feet at the same time, you're allowing yourself to use either your left foot or your right foot as a pivot foot. You can go either way. So now you could have pretty much any post move available to you. Quite literally, you could go left and towards the middle of the key or baseline. So this is just a beginner footwork of how you can get the ball in the low post. Next, there's a whole bunch of different moves that you can do. So you can do a drop step towards the middle. You can get that ball. You can do a drop step towards the baseline. And how I did those drop steps was when I got that ball, is just drop that left foot or that right foot, whatever it may be, dribble, land on both feet. That way you've got your positioning. Hopefully your defender is now behind you and you can go up for that shot. Now, The reason why you want to land on both feet at the end there is because now you can take one more step. You can go in for that reverse. Also, it shows to the referee that this is your spot on the court. You're not just going in, getting that ball, doing a drop step and going up like this, and allowing the defender to go over your back and get a block, because sometimes if you don't show to the referee that this is your spot on the court, he's not going to give you the foul. He's not going to give the other player the foul if they go over your back. You have to make sure that that referee understands that this is my area. If I go up and I get hit, that's a foul. You have to show that to the referee. You have to prove yourself in the game to the referee that that's your spot. Next, there's so many different moves that you can do. You land on both feet. You can do a reverse drive fake, one dribble out, again landing on both feet and taking your shot. There's so many different moves that you can do out of this post positioning. You get that ball, and what I just did was a reverse pivot, left foot, fake the drive like if you're going to be going in for that layup, because that is another move that you can do. Fake that drive, one dribble out. Now hopefully you've created 2 to 3 steps between yourself and the defender by only using one dribble. Now that's another tip in the low post. 1 to 2 dribbles, that's it. No more. If you do more than that, if you start doing like the whole Shaq, 10 dribbles to plow through that player, it's going to allow you to have a defender from the wing come down, slap that ball away, and now it's a turnover on you. And even Shaq himself never took 10 dribbles to back down his player. He really only did 2 dribbles. The reason why it seemed like more, and why younger players see that and say, oh, I can take 10 dribbles, is because he's so powerful. That's why it looked that many dribbles. He's able to plow through that defender. Okay, so now on defense, what you want to be able to do with your feet is something where you want to be able to have your space on the court, but still have the ability to push the offensive player away from the basket. So how you're going to do this is having both of your feet planted straight up. You're not going to be having your foot in between their legs. Now, lately, this has been being called a foul, and that's why I'm saying this. If your foot is in between theirs, you're now in their space, and it can be classified as a defensive foul. Now, if you want to do that, there are strategies that come with having your leg in between theirs. The strategy is if they're really trying to push you, of course, you've got a better base than they do, but also you're allowing yourself to now do something to them that they're not going to be expecting. And that is, if they're really putting a lot of pressure on your leg, you can pull it out, have them fall as soon as they get that ball. So it can either be called a travel on them, a turnover, but what I used to like doing once in a while was having my foot in between theirs, have them putting so much pressure on my leg so that as soon as I see that bounce pass coming in, I let go and I take that ball because they're on the ground. So there is a strategy behind this. However, it can be classified as a foul, so keep that in mind. Now, how I like to teach my defenders in the low post is to have both their feet side by side and being able to defend like this, or like this with an open palm could be classified as a foul. You can do your fist, whatever it may be. I like an open palm. Usually referees don't see it anyways. And then from there, basically, I'm right now directing him to go to the middle of the key. Not by putting my foot in between his or hers. I'm putting it right on their right side so they have their 2 feet right here, and now I'm directing them towards the middle so that they have nothing this way. The reason why you would want to direct them towards the middle is if they do a move towards the middle, now that could bring a help defender. And if this is a larger player who's trying to post up, so let's say if I was trying to post up a 5'5" player, he would want me to go to the middle because he's not able to defend me one-on-one. Now, with that footwork being side by side and not in the middle, you're now able to essentially direct him wherever you would like. So if his 2 feet are here and I'm on this side and he goes this way, take a charge. That's one way of doing it. Now, going from there, one thing that you can keep in mind as well is a lot of players who do that leg in between theirs, you're now giving him the whole right side. He can just do a quick spin move and he's at the basket. So that's another reason why I don't teach the leg in between theirs unless you're doing it beforehand, so that you can basically pull out the chair from their butt and you can get that ball. So there's some footwork that you can incorporate in your game if you're a center. I hope that this video has helped you become a better defender in the low post, but also a better offensive player in the low post as well. And I'll see you guys again tomorrow for another twice a day basketball video.